Hey, it's AK Option Trader, and I want to wish you all a happy new year. Let's trade well and prosper this year, and let's make a resolution to trade better than we did last year. I did a lot of stupid things this year. I did a lot of good things, but I did a lot of stupid things. But my goal is to make fewer stupid trades and hold on to fewer stupid losing stocks or options. That's my goal, and I'm going to work on it, and you guys can hold me accountable. That's one of the reasons I do this thing, is to help me hold myself accountable. So if I do stupid stuff, I want the world to know. And it'll help me do less stupid stuff as I evolve into becoming a non-stupid trader. Maybe that should be the blog name, eh? Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great new year. Me personally, let's say it's been minus 8 degrees yesterday, minus 6 degrees today. And it's stinking cold. I'm ready for some global warming, so in a couple weeks I'm going to be taking a trip to Costa Rica with Mrs. AKOT, and so I'll be gone for a while, but I'll try to keep some updates and posts, maybe even do a video or two. I did it last year from Costa Rica. We'll try it again, so let's get into it. One of the things I try to do is, and you guys have heard me talk about this, is gauge what market sentiment is, obviously. But I also try to see what the public is seeing and what the public is feeling, because I think this moves stuff. That's one of the reasons I show the Dow. People always ask me, why do you bother with the Dow on their Dow's only 30 stocks? I know the Dow's only 30 stocks, but the Dow is what you hear about every day in the stinking news, on the newspaper. The Dow is up 30, the Dow is down 40, the Dow is up blah, 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 blah. That's what people hear. That's what America, as Kramer says, hears. So I like to keep an eye on it. I like to look at it. I like to see what it's doing, because I think it lets me know what America's thinking. So anyway, I do some reading. Read several articles in depth, and then I read several headlines. Headlines help me get a gauge. That's what I use to get a gauge on what's going on. So let's just roll through them here. Reading the headlines, and I'm seeing that this is Yahoo Business. New year, old worries for U.S. stocks. Bullish Wall Street grapples with rate concerns. Few called market too, few predict it will last. All right, it seems kind of bearish. Here we go. CNBC, this is one I read in depth. If you have not read it, you should read this. Did mortgage relief program make housing crisis worth? For a few savers, it wasn't a lost decade, blah, blah, blah. Rest of this kind of stuff, but is just news. But this is pretty big right here. This article goes into in depth how we're just basically holding on people who cannot afford the houses they've got, and the government's kind of helping them keep not affording the houses they've got. Street facing strength tests as market watch, stuff like that. It's all been this basically goes into, can the market continue based on the government's back, basically is what it's saying there. So just reading through just a few sites. Those are just a few. There's dozens of them out there. I'm seeing a little bit of a bearish theme going into the new year, which makes sense, because we've been rallying strong for this year. I've thought we were gonna, I've been calling all year. I've been thinking September, October we'd see a huge downturn and this market, and big market correction, a pretty big drop. I thought it'd be significant. It did not happen. We just kept on going. Too much to my chagrin and surprise, as I tried to short several times. Still able to make a few long trades, still able to make short trades, but it wasn't the move I was anticipating or looking for, that I wanted to go not all in, but put a big short trade into. So we'll see what happens this year. 2010 overall, I would not expect it to be a good year stock wise. I would expect the unraveling of a lot of stuff that has been propped up by government funds and government money. That's what I would expect for 2010. That's kind of the bias I'm going to be leaning towards, is downside. I think we are overbought in this market right now, but I've thought that for a little while, and we still rally, which we could still rally for 5 or 6 months like that. Who knows? Nobody sees the future. I'm just going off what I see. Nonetheless, I'm still going to trade what I see. I'm still going to trade to the upside on some stocks and to the downside on some stocks. But I still have a little bit of a bias to us being overbought right now. No, I'll take that back. I have a strong bias to us being overbought. I'm still pretty bearish in the midst of this rally, but I'm not going to be afraid to trade the rally. If I see things start turning up, and if I see an up move coming, I'll tell you. I've done it a couple of times here. I see it looks like we're going to bounce off this trend line. I'm going to play the long side. So keep an eye on that. But anyway, what I've got up here is the Dow. Ooh, it's good using the Dow. I just use it because it's easy for it to research. I like that it's got the volume on there, everything. Yada, yada, yada. So what I did is I spent some time this morning looking at the last 10 years. This is just 5 years. This is this is '07 here. But the last 10 years I look back, looking at what happens going into the new year. We've got the thing called the January barometer, where they say 74% of the time, whatever the market does in January, the market does the rest of the year. Well, this year was the exception to that. The market in January was right here, and this dot here, boop, down, and we had a big up market. We did drop pretty hard into that before the big March rally. So I looked at it. What does the market do? Well, one thing I did find out, and like I said, this is only 10 years of research. I didn't go back 20 years. I just did 10 years. Shoot, this blog's free. What the heck? I'm not going back 20 years. I got other things to do. Anyway, what I found is that there's definitely a trend in January. I found that 66% of the time, however the market closes on December 31st, it will close similar on January 1st, or the first trading day of January. So we were down 100 points Friday, or Thursday, pardon me. So we'll probably have a down day Monday. Monday will probably be a down day. Chances are. I mean, the odds are more that it'll be a down day than an up day. Two, the thing that was most readily apparent to me is that day is almost always followed by a similar day. So Tuesday is almost always the same as Monday. So if it's down day Monday, I mean, almost every time without exception, at least 2 days in a row of the same move, okay? So that's something else we need to pay attention. Then three, there's almost always an apparent trend. So what I've done here is highlighted the beginning of the years. And what I want to show you is that there's always a trend. So we had a down day, we had a downtrend, a pretty nice trend. Here's the 31st, right here, we had a nice little uptrend. Did it last long? No, it lasted about 7-8 days. But we had a nice uptrend and followed by a downtrend. So we had another trend. I'd rather have a trend than a whole bunch of down days. Here we go here. January 1st, right there. Or pardon me, that's, well, I'm back up here. Get the 1 day right there. January 1st. I missed it here by a little bit. But anyway, we have a nice uptrend. All right? So there's always been a trend. Here we go. Coming into December, end of December. Here's January right in here. We were in the midst of a downtrend anyway, so it's not as apparent. But we trended. So anyway, I'll be looking for a trend off of this, and judging from this candle, judging from this bearishness of the market on the last trading day of the year, I'll be looking for a downtrend. I'll be looking for us to retest this line down here probably. So 10,253, somewhere in that area, which we are very close to. This turned out to be a pretty bearish day. If you look at the Nasdaq, it looked extremely bearish on the Nasdaq. You got a bearish engulfing candle hanging off here. We got nothing really in the way of us getting down here, this 2214 area. So I wouldn't be surprised to see us drop all the way down to 2214 pretty quick. I mean, there really is no stoppage here. We got a lot of little gaps we could fill going all the way down. I just really see no reason for us to stall out anywhere there. Pretty much the same for the SPX. We did stop right here on the top of these candles where I had a support line. Pretty much textbook stoppage. We could break this and drop all the way down. I could see us retesting this line pretty easily here on the SPX. So, like I said, I'm thinking we're probably going to see a little bit of a downtrend going into the beginning of the new year. And like I said, it averages, 7, 13 days, somewhere in there. The last three are, in my notes I'm looking down, we're down all the way to March last year, obviously. Down 15 days, down 3 days, the one before, up 7, up 11, up 2. So whatever it starts out, that's what I'm going to be looking for. And we could reverse and go up, and then I'm going to be looking for a little up move for a few days. One other thing to note going into the new year, the VIX is near some lows. We obviously had a very strong day there on Friday or Thursday. Man, I keep saying Friday. But if you look, the real basing area, this is 5-year chart, is going to be down in this area here, $17, $18 range. This is pretty good basing level, $17, $18 range. All right. I think if we get down there, we're going to see some support, and we're probably going to see a bounce or a move up off of there. We may rally from right where we're at, but I wouldn't be surprised to see us drop down here a little bit on the VIX. So anyway, that's all I've got for you today. I'm not going to show you any individual stocks or anything. I'll do that on Monday. But I just wanted to show you what I did, a little bit of research, and just kind of share that with you. And hopefully that'll help us get a great start into our new year, get us trading our first trade of the year to be a positive trade, to be a good trade. And I hope we all trade well and prosper into the new year. This will be the AK Option Trader signing off. Trade well and prosper.